The Parliamentary Procedure Leadership Development event has long been one of the biggest and most popular FFA events. The LDE allows team members to demonstrate their knowledge of parliamentary procedure in a real-life scenario. A team of 7 members completes opening ceremonies, handles an item of business, and completes other parliamentary abilities as assigned, and then closes the meeting. Setting up for the contest. Tables and chairs should be set up as shown. FFA paraphernalia should be placed at the appropriate seats. Event cards will be provided. These should be laid out at the appropriate stations as noted on the judge's card. Be sure that the card for the reporter ends up at the reporter's station. The president should receive a card with all abilities listed on it. Each judge should receive a scorecard for each team. An FFA manual or copy of the opening and closing ceremonies is provided to assist the judges in scoring these components of the event. The order of teams participating should be determined in advance. The timekeeper or another event official will bring a team into the room. Team members have 1 minute to review their event cards, make notes, and may continue to make notes throughout the meeting. Team members are permitted to bring a clipboard, paper, and a writing utensil into the room with them. Team members are not permitted to confer once they enter the room. A timekeeper should be identified before the contest begins, and he or she should tell teams the following. I will be your timekeeper today. Time will begin when the president says, "Is there any new business?" and will run until the president says, "We are about to adjourn this meeting." I will stand at 9 minutes and remain standing for 15 seconds. That will allow your team 1 minute to conclude business. Opening and closing ceremonies. Teams will begin by demonstrating opening ceremonies as outlined in the official FFA manual. Each team member may receive up to 20 points for opening ceremonies based on correctness and effect. Points should be deducted for each error in opening ceremonies. It is suggested to deduct 2 points per error. It may be a good idea to have one judge follow opening ceremonies in the manual and mark any errors, while the other judges score effect. If a team member is not in official dress, points may be deducted from their score for opening ceremonies. Presentation. Each team member will receive an event card that outlines what he or she is supposed to do during the demonstration. The team member's assignment will be underlined, bolded, and/or highlighted. Following opening ceremonies, the president shall tap the gavel once and say, "Is there any new business that should be presented at this time?" The team should assume that an item of business has just been completed and it is the beginning of new business. The member who has the main motion should stand, receive recognition from the chair, and move the main motion exactly as it is written on the event card. The only exceptions are in the event that take from the table, reconsider, or rescind is on the card. These motions should be moved prior to the original main motion by the person to whom they are assigned. The team should then proceed to conduct business related to the main motion and other abilities as listed on the event card. Each team member can receive up to 50 points for presenting the parliamentary ability assigned to them. Points should be deducted if the member improperly states their assigned motion or moves it at an incorrect time. For example, previous questions should not be moved before any discussion has taken place. Please review the motion summary sheet included in the judge's packet for suggested point deductions. It is strongly suggested to review the rules for all the abilities listed on the card. It is acceptable for a team to move additional motions that are not on the event card. An example would be if moving a secondary amendment would aid the team in disposal of the motion, then a member could move a secondary amendment. The member moving the secondary amendment would receive no points for doing so, but debate on the secondary amendment could be scored. Debate. Each team member receives 40 points for debate during the demonstration. Members are scored on their best 2 debates and receive 20 points per debate. A suggested grading scale is as follows: superior, 16 to 20 points; excellent, 13 to 15 points; good, 9 to 12 points; average, 6 to 8 points; poor, 0 to 5 points. A superior debate would be characterized by a truly stirring delivery and brilliant in terms of information provided and/or suggestions for action offered. A truly outstanding parliamentary procedure team will have more than one team member in this range. An excellent debate would be characterized by a truly stirring delivery and brilliant in terms of information provided and/or suggestions for action offered. Most debate would fall in the range of 6 to 12 points. An example of a debate might be, I think this is a very significant motion which should be adopted for the following reasons: new, informative, and logically related. Each debate should have a logical conclusion. Good debate is characterized by effective delivery, substance, creativity, and visionary thought delivered in a convincing and compelling manner. Poor debate would be characterized by a lack of effective delivery, poor grammar, reasoning, and substance. An example might be, I think this is a good idea. Some judges find it helpful to have one judge score the parliamentary procedure and one judge score the debate. This is at the discretion of the judges, but is certainly an option. Characteristics of good debate include completeness of thought. All debate should include 2 or more points. Logical reasoning, clear statement of the speaker's position, conviction of delivery, and concise and effective statement of debate. Presiding ability. The president can receive up to 60 points for his or her presiding ability. Things to look for in scoring the president include are motions stated correctly? Following a motion, the president should state the motion clearly. It has been moved and seconded that our chapter hold a back-to-school cookout. It is not required that the president state that a motion is debatable and amendable, but there is no point deduction for stating this. Our rules of debate followed. The first person to seek recognition should be called on first. The person who moved the motion should be recognized first, assuming that he or she seeks recognition. Individuals who have not yet spoken on the motion should be called on before any member is recognized a second time. Individuals who have an opposing view should be called on in alternating order. Does the chair keep members informed? Throughout the meeting, the chair should clearly state the motion on the floor at the time so that members know what they are voting on. Are all motions put to a vote? All motions must be voted on appropriately. Are the results of votes clearly announced? Following a vote, the president should state, the ayes have it and we will hold a cookout, or the noes have it and we will not have a cookout. Is the gavel used correctly? The gavel should be tapped once following the announcement of a vote. Additionally, the gavel should be tapped once to have members sit down at the beginning of the meeting and after standing. The gavel should be tapped 3 times to have members stand for in unison parts of the ceremonies. The gavel should be tapped twice at the beginning of the meeting and to call for order. Is the president aware of business on the floor? He or she should know what is being discussed and voted upon at all times. The president may also be judged on his or her stage presence, poise, self-confidence, politeness, and voice. General effect. Each team can earn up to 40 points for general effect. This includes 3 categories. Conclusions reached is worth 20 points. These points are awarded based on whether or not the meeting determined who, what, when, where, and how in relation to the main motion. Clarity of business is worth 10 points. These points are awarded based on whether or not the outcome and the path forward for the main motion are clear. Reality of the presentation is worth 10 points. These points are awarded based on the degree to which the presentation reflects a realistic business meeting of an organization. Time limits and deductions. A team shall not use more than 10 minutes for the presentation of parliamentary procedure. A timekeeper shall begin timing when the president states, "Is there any new business?" and time shall run until the president says, "We are about to adjourn this meeting." The timekeeper shall stand at 9 minutes and remain standing for at least 15 seconds. This will allow 1 minute to complete the business session. To prevent being penalized, the team must conclude all business by 10 minutes, 29 seconds. 10 points will be deducted for every 30 seconds over 10 minutes. 10 points will be deducted at 10:30 and at each 30-second increment after that. Scoring. Once all teams have competed, judges should tally their score sheets and compare scores with other judges. Judges should select a first, second, and third place team. The top 2 teams from each region will move on to the state FFA convention in June. Thank you for serving as a judge for the Parliamentary Procedure Leadership Development event. We appreciate your support of our members and the time you have invested in this event. If you have suggestions for improving this event or the training materials, please email matt.colliff@education.ky.gov.